Tuesday, January 20th. Markets lost 2.06%, partially due to Greenland, partially due to Japan. Why did this happen? Well, let's get into it. I'll explain a little bit. Over the past couple days, Trump has threatened tariffs over Greenland and heightened and ramped up rhetoric around it. Markets, as we've seen over the last year since Trump has taken office, have reacted strongly to anything they perceive as negative from President Trump. Today, or say yesterday now, is coming into yesterday, that is Greenland. Trump has talked a lot of rhetoric around it, including possibly tariffing countries and looking to have Denmark hand over it to the US. Denmark isn't budging on that, and a lot of other European countries are not appreciating Trump's rhetoric around it, and it's causing the markets to fall a little bit. As we can see, over the last 5 days, markets are down about 2.5%. Most of that coming on the 20th of January. It's the first trading day after the weekend. Mind you, that on Monday was Martin Luther King Day, which means there was no trading. And over the last month, it's kind of been relatively stable, actually up about 0.9% or so before Tuesday. Now, as you've seen last year in 2025, around Liberation Day tariffs and threats leading into that in January, February, and March, markets will react strongly to any negative news from Trump. Any news that Trump is threatening the status quo, or he might be making a decision that could upset the balance of something, will cause markets to take a tumble. In my opinion, of course, my opinion is my opinion. It's not financial advice. It's not any financial information in terms of me telling you what to do. You make your own decisions, you make your own choices in the market, right? But from what I've seen last year and what I expect to see this year, I don't see this as a big long-term issue. It's definitely a short-term issue, short-term volatility. Markets can and might go down a little bit more, but I don't see this being a long-term thing. I don't see this being something that's going to affect us for the next couple months. It's in the news. It's in our attention right now, so any news about it will affect it. If tomorrow Trump backs off of tariffs, markets are going to lift, and they're going to lift up a lot, I think. And if he doubles down and decides that, tariffs are something he wants to do and he wants to amp up the pressure on Europe, market's probably going to go back down. That's just how Trump's presidency has been operating for the last year. It's actually 1 year today. Every time he says something or does something that people see as disruptive to the world order or the status quo, markets take a tumble. Every time he says or does something that is seen as, positive or seen as keeping the status quo and world order together, markets go back up. Of course, there's other factors to that. There's other factors that lead into markets moving, including earnings, which we are kind of in the middle or beginning stages of earnings season, and other outside news and things going on in the world, such as the Japanese financial market. Now, Japan's an interesting case because they have US bonds that they had announced last year that they were looking to sell off, and this has happened in the past, and we're hoping that Japan has learned their lesson by not selling everything at once or being very aggressive with their selling. We'll see though. Obviously, this has also played a part into the market losing about 2% on Tuesday. people are worried that Japan's selling off U.S. bonds are going to cause issues in the U.S. market, which could cause issues in the world market. That may be true, or that might be false. That might not be the case. Only time will tell on that side. However, it's my belief that they've probably learned their lesson not to be too aggressive. Japan definitely doesn't want to be the source or the person to blame in terms of causing maybe a small recession or even a bigger recession or just a downturn for a period of time. Everyone across the globe wants markets to continue doing well. They want markets to continue prospering, which means that Japan's probably going to be a little conservative about it, make sure that they are selling off, but they're not doing it too fast, allowing buyers to come in and buy up if they feel like they would like to. Of course, that's their choice. It's everyone's choice whether to buy or sell anything, right? Like I said, what I'm talking about now is not financial advice. You do whatever you think is right or best. However, they're going to continue selling off until they get to either a number that they're more comfortable with or they're a number that they have to be at through their own financial issues. And it's definitely going to cause, say, some worry in U.S. markets. Over the last couple presidencies, there's been the year after the new president gets elected, the market usually does very well, right? Say last year, and I know this is 1 year, not from January 1st, but last year the market did do about, I think it was 17 or 18%. I know this is 12. Remember, this is from the 21st now, not the 1st. But the market also was riding off of two back-to-back 24 and 23%. I got that right? Returns for, at least it's for the S&P. So, 17, 18%, that range, maybe 16%. That's still pretty good for the market. It's not 20%, obviously. It's very hard to get 20% in a row. But after growth at that stage, at that level, for that long, 3 years, the market's probably going to run into some issues this year. Look at year to date, the market is down 0.9% specifically because of Tuesday and what was said. Market again was up 1.19% before that. Definitely can see some volatility and fluctuations in the market. Wouldn't be surprised if we have some big down months and then of course some big upswings, especially because, at least from what I've seen historically, the market sometimes will not do as well in a midterm election. In November, of course, will be the midterms, and that's going to play a huge part in the market. Republicans, of course, really want the market to do well, so people keep voting for them. And Democrats, I don't want to say they don't want the market to do well, because, I feel like that's not the right thing to say. All I'll say is that, if anything goes wrong with the market, if the market hits a downturn, they're going to blame Republicans, because of course they want votes. Now, I don't want to make my channel a political channel. I want to talk finance. But part of talking finance for me is talking about geopolitics and talking sometimes about politics. But when I'm going to talk about politics, I'm going to make sure that I'm talking about how it relates to the market. Not my opinions, not what I think is right, not what I think is wrong. How does it relate to the market? So in this case, midterm elections is definitely going to affect the market and could cause 2026 to be a down year for the market. A lot of firms and a lot of different institutions believe that 2026 is going to be a good year for the market, that 2026, the market will do well in 2026. But percentages vary. Some target 7,000, some target 8,000, some say, 6,800 or 6,700, right? There's a little bit of a window there, a little range that institutions and individual investors are kind of sitting in. That being said, we'll see, obviously, what happens. Market might do well, market might not do well. Might see something really good happen in the market, you might see something not good, you know. But again, only time will tell. We'll see what happens as the months play on through the rest of the year. I'm not going to make an official, say, quote-unquote prediction in this video. I might make a separate video of that and analyze a couple different things in that. You know, might turn into a short or something, we'll see. But that's all for now. Appreciate you listening. If you did enjoy, like, comment, subscribe. It's been a while since I posted here, but I want to get back to posting a little bit more. And we'll see how consistent that is, and of course how much time I have. But appreciate you being here, and I look forward to speaking in the next one. Have a great day. Take care.